"Come on, deaf girl, show us what you've got." Those were the words that echoed through the dojo, sharp and careless. 30 seconds before everything Ryan Martinez thought he knew about strength, authority, and control collapsed in front of his own students. Ryan stood in the center of Sunset Valley Martial Arts that Tuesday night, black belt cinched tight around his waist, chest out, voice loud enough to fill the room. At 28, he was an Olympic-level talent-turned-instructor, used to admiration, obedience, and never being questioned. He pointed straight at the woman holding a mop near the edge of the mat, a woman most people barely noticed. "I said, fight me," he repeated louder now, performing for the 15 students and parents watching. "Or are you too scared and too deaf?" The room froze. Kesha Washington slowly lifted her gaze from the wet floor, water dripping from the mop strings onto the mat. For 8 months she had existed here as background noise cleaning after classes, arriving quietly, leaving quietly, letting assumptions do their work. No one asked questions, no one looked closely, and that was exactly how she wanted it. What no one in that room understood was that some people don't hide because they're weak, they hide because they're healing. And 3 years of silence were about to end in half a minute of undeniable truth. 2 hours earlier, Kesha had unlocked the back door of the dojo like she always did, moving with practiced efficiency. The smell of sweat, disinfectant, and rubber mats filled the air as she flicked on the lights one by one. Vacuum edges mopped the floor, wipe down equipment, simple, honest work that paid for her small apartment and kept her mind occupied. But even while cleaning, Kesha observed, she always did, her peripheral vision tracked foot placement, balance errors, timing. She noticed how one brown belt telegraphed punches, how a teenage girl in the back had flawless form but pulled her power, how Ryan adjusted stances in ways that genuinely improved. Ryan had skill. Real skill. That wasn't the problem. The problem was what came with it, the impatience, the subtle dismissiveness, the jokes that landed just a little too hard on certain students. That night, as class wound down, Kesha glanced toward the front window and saw Maria Santos arriving with her 10-year-old son, Aiden. The boy bounced with excitement, his hands moving rapidly in sign language as he talked. Aiden was deaf, like Kesha, but still carried the fearless energy of a child who hadn't learned to shrink himself yet. Kesha watched Ryan's expression tighten when he saw them. "Mrs. Santos," Ryan called out, that polite but final tone adults use when bad news is coming. Maria smiled nervously. "Is something wrong?" Aiden's been excited all week. Ryan looked at the boy stretching happily on the mat. "I've been thinking, this might not be the right fit for him." Maria stiffened. "What do you mean?" Ryan gestured around the room. "Martial arts relies heavily on verbal commands, safety cues, corrections. He can't hear those. It's distracting, and honestly, not fair to the other kids." Kesha's grip tightened on the mop handle. She had seen Ryan accommodate struggling students before, kids with anxiety, coordination issues, confidence problems. He'd been patient then. "But he's doing well," Maria said, fighting to keep her voice steady. "He watches, he follows visual cues. His balance has improved." Ryan shook his head. "This isn't therapy, it's real martial arts. Maybe look into special programs. You know, for kids with needs." The word landed heavy. Aiden, unaware, kept stretching. "He doesn't need special treatment," Maria said, emotion rising. "He needs the same chance," Ryan scoffed. "Strong. How's he supposed to defend himself if he can't hear danger coming?" That's when Kesha stepped forward. She didn't plan it. One moment she was invisible, the next, she was standing between them. Ryan turned, irritation flashing. "Can I help you?" Kesha met his eyes calmly.
Silent.
"Are you telling me how to run my dojo?" Ryan snapped. She didn't answer, but her presence spoke louder than words. Ryan laughed, gesturing at her mop. "Now the cleaning lady wants to coach martial arts?" No one laughed with him. "I've been doing this 15 years, he continued. "I have credentials." Aiden tugged his mother's sleeve, signing anxiously. Maria's eyes filled. "He wants to know why everyone's angry if he did something wrong." Ryan hesitated, guilt flickering, then hardened again. "This is exactly the problem," he said loudly. Kesha set the mop aside and stepped onto the mat. Just that one step. The room held its breath. She pointed to herself, then to Ryan. "A challenge." "You're challenging me?" Ryan laughed incredulously. "The deaf cleaning lady wants to fight?" But the energy had shifted. People leaned forward now. "Let it go," someone murmured. Ryan's pride flared. "She's disrespecting this dojo." Kesha stood centered, balanced, still. Fine, Ryan said. Full contact tomorrow night. No excuses. When I win, you're out of a job. Kesha looked at Aiden, signed something softly. Maria swallowed. She says if she wins, Aiden stays. No more talk about not belonging, Ryan laughed. That's it, Kesha signed again. Marcus Chen translated quietly. She said, that's everything. The dojo owner David Park stepped in. Tomorrow 7 p.m. I referee. Rules apply, Ryan nodded, but doubt flickered. That night, in her apartment above a restaurant, Kesha pulled a gym bag from under her bed untouched for 3 years. Inside, hand wraps, a mouth guard, and a gold medal, Rio 2016. Women's Judo, 57 kilojoules Paralympic champion. She traced the medal memories flooding back of victory of her sister Emma, of the accident that took Emma's life and Kesha's hearing. 3 years of grief, 3 years of hiding. She read Maria's text. He says you're the first adult who made him feel like he belongs. That decided it. Wednesday night, the dojo filled early. Barefoot, athletic clothes replacing her work uniform. Ryan warmed up aggressively, performing for the crowd. No head strikes, David announced. First submission or stoppage. They faced off. Ryan attacked fast punches, kicks, pressure. Kesha moved effortlessly, angling, reading him. She caught his kick once, then released it deliberately. Confusion crept in. Ryan grew frustrated. 5 minutes in, he was sweating. She wasn't. Whispers spread. Then Ryan rushed, wild and angry. Kesha stepped aside, captured his arm, and launched him in a flawless judo throw that slammed him onto the mat. Gasps filled the room. She held the armbar, then released it and stepped back. Marcus whispered, "That's Olympic level." Ryan scrambled up, shaken. "Lucky shot!" He attacked again, reckless now. Kesha absorbed, redirected, waited. When Ryan crossed the line swinging at her head, she stepped in, caught his wrist, and stopped him inches from her face. Her other hand rested on his chest. She shook her head gently. No more. The fight left him instantly. Ryan sagged, tears forming. The dojo was silent. Aiden walked onto the mat and signed excitedly to Kesha. She knelt, smiling. Ryan turned, voice breaking. "I'm sorry, I made people feel like they didn't belong." He looked at Aiden. "You belong." Marcus finally said it aloud. "Rio 2016, that was you," Kesha nodded. "Everyone deserves to feel strong," she said quietly. "Everyone deserves to belong." David offered her a teaching role.
She smiled.
"We'll talk." Then she helped Ryan to his feet. "Everyone starts as a beginner, even black belts." The dojo exhaled. Outside, nothing looked different. Inside, everything had changed. A child had been defended. A teacher had been humbled. And a woman who hid in silence had found her voice again. Sometimes the quietest person in the room carries the most power, and sometimes 30 seconds is all it takes to reveal the truth.